my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. There are just a lot of things that are going on, and so I've decided this week to move Jubilee to next week because I want to show you the final of the Make-A-Wish quilt that I had to record before I sent them the quilt, before I sent the quilt off to the Fat Quarter Shop, because those quilts will be coming up for auction soon. And so we will move this Jubilee last row, and I'll show you my whole quilt together next week. Okay, so we're going to put that somewhere over there. We'll put that over there. Okay, we have socialites and the free Jolly Tree Farm from the Fat Quarter Shop, Christmas in July. And then I'm going to show you some cross stitch. Okay, so here we go. First, let's look at New Haven, which is the Fat Quarter Shop's pattern for Make-A-Wish. All of the, not all of the, a large amount of the proceeds go to Make-A-Wish. There's donations from Moda and the Fat Quarter Shop and others. Also to Make-A-Wish for the whole campaign. And my friend Suzanne Yerkes has quilted for my quilt for the project, and Bobby Yoder, my friend Bobby Yoder, also helped sew with me. So let's just take a look. I had to film this a while back. I just got the binding done on Haven. Isn't this gorgeous? It was quilted by Suzanne Yerkes, my very good friend, and she did some custom quilting on it, which has feathers and swirls. I'm going to do it up close here in a minute so that you can see it. This is going to go into the group of quilts that the Fat Quarter Shop also uses for fundraising for Make-A-Wish. So mine will be there, plus theirs, and I'm sure there's a couple other ones that'll be there. Usually Moda has one. But yeah, isn't that nice? I love the size this year, and I think it's a really doable project for so many of you. If you have not jumped in yet, you can still make a donation to Make-A-Wish and then just go download the free patterns. Look at that. Okay, so let me just show you close in. There you can see the absolutely gorgeous feathers on the light blue. And then Suzanne also did designs in the navy, which, you know, it's hard to have it show up on the navy, but you can see it in person super well. And then you can see she did inside the stars so that they're like echo inside. For each of the stars, the big split ones and the small ones, and then the swirl in the border. She did such a fantastic job, and you might be somebody that could own this. I am delighted to be able to again have joined the Fat Quarter Shop this year for their Make-A-Wish to really help support that program, which helps children and gives them their wish, whether it's a vacation or some sort of other item. And the Fat Quarter Shop often gets to go and actually be there to present the wish to the child, because all of your monies and the corporate monies that get matched in from the Kimberly and Kevin Jolly and other companies, that all that money then goes to pay for the things for the children. So here you go. Mine is getting shipped out, or actually, as you're watching this, it's already been shipped. I filmed this back in April because I had to get it out so that the Fat Quarter Shop could have it. Now, I know that the auction is coming up. The quilt is made with Blue Mill, which is the fabric line that I helped the Virginia Quilt Museum design based on patterns from the museum. It's just turned out so gorgeous. And remember, a lot of you got the little bear this year that came with your donations. I think you had to do pre-donations. I'm not sure if they're still available or not, but you can take a look. He's so soft and cuddly. And as soon as that auction is out, I will put something on my Facebook group. And I'm not doing any emails right now. I experimented with that, and it's sort of, yeah, I might pick it up again. I might not. Maybe I'll put a note out when the Make-A-Wish auction is up so that you'll know right away. So if you want to get in on that, the link is in the description box below this video. All right, what else do we have? Let's look at socialites. I think I'm on the correct week. It would have come out, the pattern, you know what all the patterns are because you've seen the layout. But I think the pattern came out last Friday. This is the one, and it is Wendy's, called Down to Earth, Socialites block number 22. Here we go. Look at this. I'm using Joanna Figueroa's rosy line, and that peach and that blue, that sort of summer blue and the peach. So pretty together with the peach gingham in the middle. This would be a great scrap buster block. I think all of the blocks in Socialites, if you wanted to make them in repeat with a lot of different fabrics, you could do, you know, whatever like combination of fabrics you want, but use scrap so that they're all kind of different. Keeps you on your toes, also from getting bored if you're using different fabrics. So I think this is another one that would be super for that. Now, I do have a little crochet thing that, I'm not crochet, cross stitch. Did I say crochet earlier? I don't know. If I did, scratch that. It's cross stitch. I was working on the Cherished Friends, and I was trying to determine some center things for color, which is something you do in any kind of creative pursuit, is looking at color. So let me just show you a couple of clips, and then I'll show you the final. Two of them are out. This is very tedious for me anyway, but it's okay. It's almost done. Two more. Before I go any further, to just do this surround in the same color, we'll end up making a plus sign. And I'm not sure I like that either. This is a pretty large image, you know, compared to everything else. It's like full-size quilt compared to the ladies, you know, it's like from their waist to the floor. So what I might do is try teal, like a teal in here. Let me try that. Going with the teal, which is this color here, it's dark, but it does give some definition, so it doesn't make so much a plus. It's still going to make somewhat of a plus, and I'm actually now debating a little bit of whether I should just bump it up a lighter shade. I might do that. Sometimes you have to stitch in order to see whether it's working. I know, I might have to put her hair on first. I ended up not really liking that dark one and went to a lighter, and I can see that that gives enough definition but isn't so high contrast as the yellow was to me all around there. The yellow just made those four squares stand out way too much. But I do think I'm going to do some yellow X's all in the background here, like sparkles. I think that'll be cute. So now I have to take this one out, take this darker, the darker thread out. And you know, that's the way it is. Sometimes when you're quilting, you have to do the same thing. You have to test some blocks and get your colors right. And here it is. This is the final. I am not going to do, there is like a little row of stitching across the top. I'm not going to do that. I will make this into like a little quilt, so I need to pick a fabric for the border, and I haven't looked at that at all, so I don't know what kind of fabric I want to pick. I will have to think on that. I had thought a teal originally, and I might still do that. Look for a teal fabric, maybe a pink, maybe a red, who knows. Okay, who knows. Now behind me, before we go on to the Jolly Tree Farm, behind me is this whole center of the Liberty Bell, which is Wendy Shepherd's pattern. And I did a little sequence here to show you how I'm going to address the rest of the states in the border. Let's look. The entire center's done. I cut 2-inch strip here. And these are some leftover stars, and they're actually going to have, I need them to be a rectangle, so there'll be some gray on either side. And my plan is I will do a star in the middle of all 4 sides, and then in all 4 corners I'll do a star. And then that leaves, like, I think I have 4 states on either side of the star, and then something like 7 and 8 or 6 and 7, whatever it is, on either side, etc., to get around to do all of these. Plus I have DC in the middle for the 14 because there's 14 in here. And then outside I have 1 fabric for territories. So that will be how I get everything done. So now I have to go on the computer and draft these strips. What length are they? What, you know, here, this length. And then I can adjust within that. So let's say it's 20 inches and I'm putting 7 states. I can adjust depending on the fabric and how wide it is, etc. And I may end up putting some spacers if I need to, if the print isn't that big. So all of that will be a little bit of a process for each unit, but I can go ahead and separate everything into those units. Well, I figured it out. These are going to look better and actually make easier math to work with if they are all squares. So that means this star will get a little gray strip around it, and I will have 8 stars all together, 4 for the middle of each side, and then the 4 corners. That way I think it gives it a really nice balance. And then in here will be strips, and I have basic cutting. They are going to be 7.5 long. I think that'll help with a lot of those bigger prints. And I'll have like 4 in here for the tops and the bottoms, estates, and I'll have 7 and 8. You know, I'll just, these are the same size, but one of them I'll fit 7 in and one I'll fit 8 in, states. So that way I get all of them plus the 1 territory fabric that can be in here. One of the other territory fabrics I was sent is just it's a big piece that's a seam, and it can't be cut up, so I will keep it. And then this is just what I have to do for the square. It's a little bit funky. These are funky sizes. I wrote the actual size, and so, you know, I'm not going to cut that. I will probably cut it just a little over 1 3/4. I'll probably cut it 1 3/4, and then I will trim it down a little bit. So that is how I'll handle it. They're just a little funky because it's not designed to be like this, and I'm trying to fit it in. But it's going to work. It's going to be really cool, and I can't wait to play with the different fabrics and see how they, you know, come together. And I'll do just each unit at a time and build it till it's the length that it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 18.5. So I will build the 4 states and maybe any little strips if they need it, because some state fabrics may not be very elaborate. And so I'll help them out by putting either maybe a little gray strip or white, or maybe not, probably not the background. I won't use the background, but maybe gray. You know, we'll see. We'll see what looks good against them. Okay, that's the plan. Making the stars first, I just have everything laid out. I'm going to do 4 red ones, 2 white, and 2 navy. So that's how I'll approach it. And this is the original star that were several of the star points, like these beige ones, were all from the main the 2 big stars in the middle of the bell. So then I had to cut all the rest and cut the strips, and there'll be the half square triangles will be slightly oversized, so I'll trim them down, and this square will be slightly oversized, and then I can trim it to exactly what I need because it's an oddball size. That's the set of stars. Now I don't know until I do the states where I want the colors. Do I want the reds all around and the others, or do I want to vary it? Do I want the reds in the corner? Yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna wait, but I'll lay them out in position with the reds in the corner, which is probably what I will end up going with. It's kind of where my mind was to begin with, and I'll show you that. I have to get way back here. Oh, the iron's in the way. Hold on. Oh my gosh, I'm way back in the room. There you go. Yeah, I think that is probably what I'm going to end up doing. Otherwise, I think it looks better a little bit structured. And then in between will be strips of the state fabrics. As words will go this way. If they're here, depending on how the words are, they may have to go vertical. Otherwise, if the word's wide enough, I'll just go that way so you can read it without turning your head. Okay. So the biggest thing for this is that each of those sections between a star, like a corner to the middle, There are not that many states to fit in there, and like across the top and bottom I think it's going to be 4 states, and I have 18 inches to work with. So I am going to mess around with that, each of those individually. They will not be a specific size because the fabrics are all so different, and I will show you working through one of those for video. So that is where the Liberty Bell is. I wish I'd gotten it done before the 4th of July, but you know, things don't always happen, do they? So there it is. Okay, the final now. Let's do the Jolly Tree Farm. I'm going to show you each of the blocks in the fabric line that I'm using, which is all linked in the description box below. This was week number 1. So if you have not started yet, this is a free mystery. So now you're going to see all the blocks, all 4 as of today. The block came out on Monday, and this is Wednesday. So there's block 1, and here was block 2. There we go. Look how cute. Look how cute tree farms. They're the best, right? The best. This is block 3. Ta-da! Now I have that fabric with the little gingerbread. It's all so cute. There we go. And final, block 4. So next week will be the layout. There we go. Ta-da! I like this one. It's simple. It's rectangles. Well, you do get a star up there in the corner. But if you were going to do like a whole quilt of just trees, you could use this without, you could use stars, maybe just make a few of them. Wouldn't that be darling as a throw, quilt throw? Yeah, throw size. Yeah, super cute. All right, my friend, this has been, right now it's kind of chaotic, I think, with so many things at once. But I'll get those in the next probably 2 months. Reduced down, a bunch of them will finish, and then I'll do like 1 or 2. I think that's where I'm going to go. I got to figure things out. Before I go, I checked, and today's celebration is Hammock Day. So share picnic quilts that you have. I forgot about that, so I had to come back and film this. Okay, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.